Let's see. What else we got in here? Do you think Caleb Williams is willing to sit behind Spencer? Yes. Do you think Caleb will take his spot and Spencer will transfer? No. We done? Let's see. Dude says Sooners 56, Florida 21 over the Gators tonight. It's bold. I wouldn't make it that big a margin, but I would say it's going to be a margin. Alabama's offense carries them. To some degree, I see why you say that, but Will Anderson has been ridiculously awesome these last 2-3 games, guys. Like, he's been just a monster on the edge. And Christian Harris is coming along in a very big way. Patrick Surtain's going to get beat because he plays corner. Like, that's part of it. You better pick on Jordan Battle, though. That's where you better go. If you try to go at Malachi Moore or Brian Branch, you're liable to get done up. I think that it's going to be really fun to see Josh Jobe, because I think Job's going to get picked on the most because people aren't going to want to throw at Patrick Surtain all that much. Let's see. How do you feel about the committee possibly pushing the college football playoff days if a team catches a mass outbreak? They have to. They better. Like, there's a lot of money on these games. That's why they're being played. You gotta do that. Like, there is no integrity of the sport in this. There's only making money. ESPN pays about $608 million per game of the college football playoff for all three. Like, that's ridiculous. Yes, of course, you're going to have to push that back. It's $1 billion riding on this. Come on. Do you think... Okay, this dude just took away his question. What else are we looking for? Did I miss the part where Tony Elliott is out? Probably. Let's see. That might have happened before I ended up checking. Clemson Tigers offensive coordinator Tony Elliott to miss the college football playoff semifinal game. Did he test positive? Yes, he did. Okay. I don't know that Brandon Streeter, quarterback's coach at Clemson, is going to call plays because the last time that needed to happen, Dabo Swinney picked up the play sheet and he did just fine. Like, I think that happened when Chad Morris decided he was going to take a job at SMU at the time. Now, Dabo will pick up the sheet. Dabo will call the plays, and it'll be fine. But when his availability is tomorrow morning, I'll be sure to check in, and we'll see what he has to say about that. But I don't think that it's going to be that big a deal because even when Dabo called the plays, right, and it was, I think Trevor Lawrence was still playing quarterback, but at one point, no, it wasn't. Couldn't have been because Chad left. But anyway, it was a great game, and Dabo's holding the play card, and he's being interviewed after the game, and he said, hell of a game by the quarterback, and he said, hell of a game by the play caller too, wouldn't you say? Like, that dude, he understands football. He can't wait to pick up the play card. He doesn't because he wants to empower his coordinators. He wants to let them do their jobs and let them run the team so he can be the CEO of the team. Nah, I'm with it. Like, I don't think it's really going to be that big a deal. And if it was a different quarterback, maybe. But since Trevor Lawrence knows the system inside and out, and he's a coach on the field, and he only reads one half of the field at a time, you can run with what you want to run. It's going to be fine. You got Travis Etienne back there, which is the same as having War Emblem, right? Or Alidar, or American Pharaoh. You're fine. I don't really think it's as big a deal as you guys are making it out to be. Poor ND is going to get... Okay. All right. Enough. Because even with you blotting out the letter there, dog, we can't have that. Stop that. Like, that whole sentiment is out of pocket. I'm putting you in timeout. See. What are your thoughts about the secondary for Ohio State versus the Clemson wide receiver core? I think that's why they're favored. I think Clemson is favored over Ohio State because the secondary for Ohio State ain't been very good. Like, that's what it is. You got Shaun Wade. Josh Proctor is good, if not great. Shaun Wade was a finalist for the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, but on the other side, you got to figure it out, right? Because I thought Seven Banks was going to be the truth, and Seven Banks ain't been the truth, all right? You need to figure it out with Marcus Hooker, and you need to figure it out with Latham Ransom, because you want to play that single high coverage, that's going to give you man on the outside. You want to go against Cornell Powell and Amari Rodgers in man coverage, you sign your own death certificate. That's not how I want to live. But if that's the only way you can create pressure, and that's the only way you can cover, it's going to be a long day. because Pete Werner, Baron Browning, those dudes, Tough Borland, they can't run with those slot dudes, especially Amari. You just can't do it. And that's where you're going to get exploited. Let's see. Got it here. Who's winning the national championship? I picked Alabama in January. I see no reason not to pick Alabama. I've been right about that for 12 months. Why would I choose differently? Come on, man. Like, that's actually a video on this channel. You can go check that out. Let's see what we got in here. Pac-12 just needs to have an undefeated team. The recruits will come after that like hell. Yikes. Where you see Trey Brown going in the NFL? I don't know, dog. He's going to have to show some stuff to get drafted at this point. He's got speed, but Jeff Badette has speed. Jeff Badette had 4.2 speed. Still didn't get drafted. You know, you're going to need more than that. And after us watching Trey Brown get abused and get picked on all this season by Big 12 wideouts, that's a tough sell. Like, I got a harder time selling Trey this year than I did Parnell Motley last year. And you know how I feel about the boys from Tulsa. He's going to have to show some stuff in his draft workouts. Let me see. What else you got in here? Man, you better hope Sam Ellinger doesn't come back. Like, I love Sam the person. Casey Thompson's a better quarterback. Casey Thompson has shown he's a better quarterback. I said Casey Thompson ought to have the job. Thompson went into the transfer portal last year and then was talked out of it by Herman, thinking this is going to be the last year you got to sit behind Sam Ellinger. If Sam comes back, kiss Casey goodbye. And for that matter, perhaps even a Hudson Card. Because you've already seen Cam Rising said, enough of this, I'm leaving. JaQuindon Jackson said, enough of this, I'm leaving. And now you got a guy that you know is better than the dude that you were starting for the other 9 games. Well, for 10 games, started against Colorado. You got to let Casey Thompson and Bijan Robinson run this thing. Because that's the only way you're going to have an opportunity to beat Oklahoma in a Big 12 championship setting. And Oklahoma's won 6 consecutive. What do you want to change there? Let's see. Right now, I got Olave slotted as a fringe first-round pick. But we'll see how he plays against Clemson. That's going to have a lot to say about it. A.J. Terrell got toe up by Jamar Chase in the national championship game. He's still a first-round pick by the Falcons. So, take that with a grain of salt. Doc Winston Boogie says, I hope Sam comes back. Casey is scary. Yes, Casey is scary. The way that he was able to run that offense and just 8 of 10, 4 TDs, 1 half of football. Whew, it's nasty. Are you covering the SWAC in the spring? Probably. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's see how many games they play. Bryce will be the man next year. Or Jalen taking Bryce. Oh, yeah. Talk about Bryce Young. Do you think Larry Johnson would be a better play caller than Ryan Day against Clemson? No, I don't mean it to sound like that, but like Larry Johnson's the defensive line coach. Why would I want Larry Johnson to call the offense? He didn't call the offense against, which game did they need to sit him out? It was the game before Michigan State, right? That was Kevin Wilson. And Kevin Wilson was the OC at Oklahoma the last time that Oklahoma played in a national championship. Kevin Wilson gets the play calling duties before Larry Johnson does. Nah, dog. Like, Larry Johnson, defensive line coach and a defensive dude. Probably going to be a great head coach when he gets that chance or when he wants to take that chance. But no, Ryan Day's the guy. That's who you want calling plays. Trajan needs to break out. We'll see what Trajan does, especially with Hazelwood being out of this game tonight. I think I got one more question I can answer here. I don't want to answer that question. I don't want to answer that question. Do you think there will be a surprise first-round draft? There always is. Yes, I think there is going to be one. I think, like Jordan Love, really getting all that draft day buzz because of how he had worked out at the combine and how he looked even after he led the FBS and interceptions thrown. There's going to be somebody that surprises the hell out of us that vaults into the first round. Might be a defensive player because this has been a really difficult year to nail down good defensive players. Like, 3 linebackers come to mind. One of them we talked about earlier in the show, Jeremiah Owusu Kimura. Another, Mike Rhodes, I think is going to be coming back for Iowa State, though he's going to be great. Zaven Collins at Tulsa. He's the Nagurski Award winner. Just missed out on the Butkus Award. He's outstanding. You're going to have dudes, right? Like Kerry Vincent opted out of playing for LSU this year. He could vault in there as a safety. We'll see, right? We'll see. All right. If you like the channel, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button on this video because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. I will see y'all in a couple hours. Deuces.